Hello, future millionaires. This is Aztec and this is the CSC. Yes, I've been away for a while. My other passion in life is the medical field. Just recently got into pediatrics. I'm saving little kids' lives. So I've been away for a little bit, but I am still actively researching um, different projects and staying on top of my crypto news. So don't worry. Today, I want to go ahead and talk about the Bitcoin miners and why Bitcoin has such a strong support at the 6K level. Um, so if you find that interesting, go ahead and give me a like. Stay tuned till the end of the video to I'm going to go ahead and feed you guys some deep knowledge, some knowledge that you won't get, fundamental knowledge that you won't be able to get at another YouTube channel today. Because of the context that I know, not specifically because I'm privy to this. It has been fed to me. So let's get started. Basically, Bitcoin has a very strong support level at 6K because of the miners. Now, a lot of YouTubers recently have flat out said, "Hey, I don't understand this. This is either bogus or they just don't really understand why Bitcoin has such a strong support level at the 6K area because of the miners." And then some people have just explained it incorrectly, so I'm going to go ahead and clear it all up, break it down. Basically, miners are currently selling Bitcoin around the 6K area because they will generally sell close to what the market price is. Now, the miners really only sell Bitcoin when they need to. So this is something that is the most important thing to know. One of the most important things to know. Miners aren't going to sell Bitcoin unless they want to make some upgrades, buy new miners, expand, bring on new personnel, some type of something new that they need. But really, that's the only reason they're going to sell. And there's only a very small amount of liquidity within the over-the-counter world that can be bought by institutional investors or people that are going to buy over-the-counter. Usually it's in bulk that they're buying. Because really, especially at this time, it's really not in the miners, these best interests. A lot of these miners, they have industrial size mining operations, which basically means they have 10,000, 15,000 miners mining at one time. And miners are like any other business out there. They just want to stay profitable. Now, in general, I have a buddy out in Canada that mines, has an industrial size plant. Now, it costs about $5,200 to $5,600 to mine Bitcoin. Of course, there's other costs that are required, like paying people and just other small costs that go into it. So they need to sell at a profit, and they also need to be able to sell Bitcoin at a rate that lets them cover all their costs. So Bitcoin can be sold in bulk anywhere from 6K to 6,500 at around this time, because it needs to be sold at or around the current market value. Now, a lot of people that are looking to buy a massive amount of Bitcoin, well, we would say a massive amount of Bitcoin, over the counter kind of orders, let's say thousands of Bitcoin, 100,000 Bitcoin, what have you. They're not going to buy from the market because they buy, right now you buy 100 Bitcoin and that would spike the market. Other people would jump on, and you're buying some Bitcoin at, the current price, and, the next 100 at, another $100 higher, so per Bitcoin. So it's not these institutional investors or people that just have a lot of money don't really want to buy Bitcoin from the market, because they're buying in bulk. But the thing is these miners, they really don't have, they just to kind of clear one thing up, they don't have a big need to sell unless they are trying to, like I said before, acquire some extra capital to take care of something that they need or want. In one case, I know of a miner that has sold, a little bit because they believe, Bitcoin won't see a bull run until the end of next year. So they want more capital to, have a higher burn rate so that they can last until the next bull run. But in general, I mean, these miners are not selling very often or very much of their holdings. They're basically mining to hodl until bull runs and sell as close to the top as possible, because again, they're a business and they want to stay profitable, and they to stay profitable, they really want to sell towards the top, so to compete with other miners and other you got huge mining operations like Bitmain, so for smaller operations in general, they want to stay competitive and sell Bitcoin for as much as they can. So there's really no incentive for them to be selling right now. Now, in general, why does this cause the market to have such a strong support at 6K? It's because a lot of people understand, a lot of people in the know, a lot of the big players, the whales, they understand that Bitcoin pretty much costs, or let's say it like this, the miners sell Bitcoin for around, the 6K area currently, because that's what it pretty much costs for them to mine and be profitable. So the easiest way to explain it is, just like traders understand that it's a good time to buy at a strong support level and sell at a resistance level, or if you're in a wedge, so traders will sell when we're butting up against the top of a wedge, and buy when we're getting towards the bottom of the wedge. Just like traders understand when to buy and sell, in general, the people that are in the know understand that people are going to buy in around 6K area, because it's just another fundamental level. Now, it's not outlined by a line. It's not something that you can trace or draw necessarily. I mean, you technically can for this year. You can kind of see where Bitcoin has stayed above that 6K area. But in general, it's more of a fundamental knowledge that people know. They know that other people are going to be buying in, so they buy in. And that's what keeps Bitcoin above. And it really has to do with the, with the miners staying profitable at that level, and that's where they sell over the counter. A lot of people say that whatever the miners sell Bitcoin at is almost like the true cost of Bitcoin. So people will try to buy at that cost as well. In general, these miners, again, they just want to stay profitable, and there's really no need for them to sell right now. Miners aren't injecting money into the market themselves to keep Bitcoin above 6K. It really has to do with, let's say some of the larger hedge funds, some of the small institutional type investors that are within the market currently, understanding, being in the know, buying Bitcoin at that point, and then other people jumping on top of their buys. That's keeping the market above 6K. And it really should stay above 6K due to this knowledge, due to this almost fundamental and technical support level. The only reason why Bitcoin would really fall, I believe, under the 6K area would be due to some extremely crazy FUD, some really jacked up crap. I mean, there's really no reason for it to fall under that, because there's a lot of money that's going to be pouring in at these lower levels. keep it above, the 6K area. So with everyone understanding that, it keeps Bitcoin afloat. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to kind of break up some of the things that are out there and explain this. It's very interesting how this works. It's interesting how TA works. It's interesting how fundamentals work. But we really won't see another bull run until the liquidity in the over-the-counter, the Bitcoin over-the-counter sells kind of dries up. So once, as an example, once the miners that are out there really have no need to sell due to them not wanting to either expand or bring more people in, or have just in general not needing more money, once they no longer need money, they really don't need to sell, and institutional investors and people in general that are trying to buy over the counter still want to buy, everything, all markets are supply and demand. The next bull run won't really happen until that liquidity dries up. The miners say, hey, we really don't need to sell. We don't want to sell more Bitcoin in bulk, especially at these low levels. Then institutional investors will have to dip into the actual market to try to scrounge up Bitcoin. That's going to cause the Bitcoin price, the actual market price, to go up. And at that point, then, there may be miners and long-term hodlers that are more incentivized to sell. But in general, we can't see an institutionally based bull run, which is everyone's saying that's the reason why the next bull run will happen, because of institutional money, more institutional money pouring in, the big players, the big institutional players jumping in. We won't see that happen until the liquidity from the miners dries up, the need for them to sell. Once these guys can't get it over the counter, they'll dip into our market. And that's what will cause the next bull run. So of course, that's why I'm really, this bull run is a lot different to me than other bull runs, because in the past, let's just look at last year, 2017, with the bull run being really based off of retail investors, people like us. It's a lot different because retail investors will invest in pretty much anything, ICOs that don't even have a white paper, but an institutional investor will really only look for long-term hodls, long-term gains. They'll only look to buy at a low so that they can sell at a high, So they're looking for extremely safe bets that are going to net them a lot of money. So of course, knowing that the next bull run will probably be based off the institutional money that's coming in, just in general, people were saying, hey, back's coming in, they're only buying over the counter. Well, once over the counter dries up, which it is possible for that to slowly dry up, and the demand for Bitcoin in the institutional world to still climb above that. We won't see another bull run until then. So that's why I'm kind of lost track of where I was, but that's why I'm looking at safe projects. I know if you guys know where I started with my videos, I have been a trader. I have been a full-time trader in the past when there was more volatility in the market and more volume. But that's why I'm looking at more safe bets, strong projects that have been here since the beginning, or projects that have people that are within them that have star players that have been in the blockchain crypto world since the beginning. Example, Cardano. You have Charles Hoskinson. He was a co-founder of Ethereum. He's been in the game for a long time. Yes, his project is relatively new compared to, let's say, Bitcoin having a 10-year anniversary recently, but he's been in the game for years. So his project is extremely strong, especially coming from Ethereum, knowing all the flaws of Ethereum and wanting to correct all that and make, the 3.0 blockchain, the next 3.0 blockchain. So extremely bullish on Cardano. And that's why, Coinbase is really, if you following Coinbase coins, that's a really safe bet. Coinbase is really the future. They want to be the future. So, what the only coins they're going to look at is pretty much at what institutional investors are looking at. So that's why if you look at my past videos, the coins that I really look at, I would say are safe bets. Of course, everything I say is not everything I say in every video right now. None of this is financial advice, but it's just my opinion and things that I've obviously researched or know due to what the people I know. Trade with Wells, trade with miners. I work with all these people. I know a lot. I've been in the space for a long time. So I can only just tell you what I know and what I think. But anyways, guys, I'm still bullish. Really it's just a hodling game at this point, an accumulation game at this point. The only thing that would truly worry me, Aztec, would be when the Bitcoin miners start selling massive amounts of Bitcoin at these current low prices. Because if they are selling, they know that this is a high, not a low, and that Bitcoin is going down. Now that's not happening. That's not happening right now. They're still holding because they're expecting higher highs. The miners are. So, technically, Tether, let's say Tether blows up, let's say, some kind of crazy flood happens. I really don't care. These are all little things. But I would say the most concerning thing to me personally would be if, the miners start selling in bulk, like crazy bulk, almost half their holdings, things like that. Over the counter is just selling like crazy. That would worry me, but that's not happening. So I'm still bullish, guys. Very bullish. Do I think? I've pretty much said in the past. I personally think we'll get a bump off back. I think there'll be a lot of speculation in January, February due to ETFs and other large institutional type companies and entities coming into the market or looking to come into the market. That will give us another bump. And that could start the bull run, or we could see it later on in the year once institutional investors make up their mind and start putting money where the mouth is. But anyways, guys, it's just a waiting game at this point, and that's fine. That's fine. I've already made my investments, and I'm happy. So hope you are all happy, doing well. I wouldn't really care about the price right now. That's just me personally. I don't care. It goes down 1,000 here, it goes down 10,000 here, in a day, whatever. It goes up 10,000, it goes up 1,000 in a day. It's just the market. But just like the miners are still hodling, and these guys are the ones with tons of Bitcoin on hand. I'm hodling. So hope you're all doing well. Never give up on the future of money. Peace.